Everyone, picked up a few Beatles albums recently. Stick around and we'll dive in. So recently I picked up a few new Beatles albums, or new to me at least, in the sense that I've been trying to fill out, for fun, my collection of US albums released by the Beatles. I don't have a huge number of Beatles albums on vinyl. I've had everything on CD forever. I'm in the 90s. When I was in college, I bought most of their UK albums on CD. Um, things even also like the anthology, live at the BBC. When the second BBC album came out a number of years ago, I picked that up on CD also. I just, didn't feel the need at the time to pick that one up on vinyl. Do have a lot of the Giles Martin, I have all of the Giles Martin remixes on vinyl, as well as the updated Hollywood Bowl. But I thought, at some point it would be fun to kind of collect some of the Beatles albums on vinyl, and just to be a little bit different, figured, let me go after the US releases just to kind of differentiate from the UK releases. Maybe at some point I'll be able to track down some of the UK albums on vinyl, but it's not something, pressing that I'm looking to do. So just over the past year or so, as I see them in the wild, I'll grab them, trying not to overspend, because, as you know, a lot of times people will just bump up the cost on Beatles stuff just because it's Beatles, even though it's not necessarily worth that much. These albums were pressed to death in the 60s and 70s, so it's not like they're really that difficult to find. Maybe find in good condition, but it really doesn't take a lot of effort to find them. So here's just three items that I've picked up in the last few weeks that I thought were just kind of interesting. One is the Hey Jude album, the compilation released around 1970. What I thought was kind of fun about this one, it's in really good condition, but if you can see it, this is it's actually a first pressing, because on the label, it is the Apple label, but it doesn't say Hey Jude, it says The Beatles Again, which was the name of the album, or the planned name of the album, until somebody in the marketing department said, we should probably promote it with one of the key tracks on it, Hey Jude. This is in kind of like VG Plus, maybe close to a near mint quality. It sounds really good. A little bit of love on the album cover, but I had seen this at another store recently. It's weird. I haven't seen this one in stores for a while because, just things going quickly in the last couple of years. But I saw this in one shop that I don't frequent too often. Not a huge fan of it. It was pretty chewed to death, not looking good, and they were asking $50 for it. I'm like, there is no way that is a $50 album. So hard pass on that. And then I was at my regular shop not too long ago, and they had a copy, and it was at least half that. I was like, well, that is a reasonable price for Hey Jude. So I went ahead and picked that one up. So two other albums, and this is interesting because I was watching. I've got almost all the American albums now, or the U.S. pressings, North American, whatever you want to call them. I have almost all of them now, but there's a few kind of just to fill in a couple holes, mostly compilations. But I had been watching the Parlogram auctions, I believe is the channel name, where they're looking at different Beatles albums, different pressings. And one of the things they were looking at was the Beatles Rarities collection, and some of the differences between the European and the North American version of it. My shop had an anniversary sale recently, and I happened to spot these also in their bins recently. So it was, I think, 15% off of their prices. They had a copy of Beatles Rarities. It's got the hole in it. This was actually sealed. I did crack it open. I didn't open up the full gatefold yet. Obviously, if I did, I'm not sure if I will or not. I probably will, but it does, being sealed, it still had the hype sticker on it. So I do want to save that at the very least, but it does have the butcher cover on the inside of the gatefold. Um, but yeah, it has the punch out. So this was likely in the bargain bin for a while, years and years ago. Which is fascinating that, to think of like Beatles albums sitting in a discount bin. But yeah, no, pick this one up. So it's other than a little bit of edge wear and stuff, it's minty and brand new. Looks really good. It's got the rainbow capital label. And I'm pretty sure this is a first pressing. It's got the embossed cover on there, and there's no reference to Sir George Martin as a producer on the back, which my understanding is that was an error on the first pressing. So that's a fun pickup. And then the other one that I picked up was the slightly different Beatles Rarities. And this is I wasn't sure if I was going to grab it, but it's interesting. On the back, it does have the sampler album Not For Sale. That's an indication that this actually came from the blue box set. It's as I mentioned in that video, they were saying, because a lot of people at the time had all the Beatles albums, and this wasn't originally meant for retail sale, so store owners would crack open the box sets, pull this out, and sell it separately to people that just wanted this. What was interesting that I noticed on it, though, it says EMI Records Australia on the back, and sure enough, it appears to be the Australian pressing of it, and it has a fun little orange label with the Parlophone on it. So kind of a cool addition. This looks like it was barely, if ever, really played. And obviously, if you're not, well, if you are familiar with it, it would be obvious. But if you're not, these two albums are different. They're different track listings, even though they are Beatles Rarities. They are slightly different collections and configurations. So yeah, so that's it. Just wanted to share those. Let me know in the comments below if you have any other interesting recent vinyl finds. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up, like the channel and subscribe, and we'll be back with you with more videos soon. Take care.